How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Joys of Aquatics channel. So today I'm pretty much going to give you guys a quick update on the rack and the tanks in my room. I guess I'll start from the bottom and go from the top. So this is a 10-gallon tank that I am setting up pretty much as a quarantine tank. You can see in there's no water in it yet, but I got a heater set up for it. I'm using an Aqueon Quiet Flow 10 internal filter. That's the shrimp version. So these do about 60 gallons per hour, where the one that's in this quarantine tank is the top fin internal filter, also for a 10 to 20 gallon, and that one does about 90 gallons about 90 gallons per hour. So let's see how it does. One good thing about it though is I was able to easily modify the filter. I mean, that's not even really modified. It's just take out the sponge that's on the inside and everything else that's on the inside, and then I was able to add a AquaClear number 30 sponge and one box of the 2.1 ounce Fluval Biomax bio rings or ceramic rings, or whatever you want to call them. And this is pretty much, I just need to put some water in it and some decor, and it's pretty much set to go. I am having one little debate with myself before I set this up. I'm wondering I'm wondering two things. If I should use either just a regular sponge, or go ahead and use the other one of these that I have. Or should I maybe go with a under gravel filter system and actually put gravel and maybe even try to put some live plants and whatnot in there. I mean, I do want to use this as a quarantine tank, but I would rather use this tank predominantly so when I do bring new fish home, I can put them in here, monitor them, and just make sure that they're not sick for about a month, maybe 6 weeks. And once I'm pretty sure they're fine, put them in the main tank. So I would really want to avoid using medication in this tank. That I would figure, that's what this tank is for. But I do have a lot of fish, so I might not have that option. So, but if I went that way, I would put it under gravel filter, which they come with these little packets of activated carbon, and I just wouldn't use those, and I could stuff the tubes with more polyfill and use it that way. Or when I'm finally, when I'm medicate, when I'm not medicating, I can use them, and when I am, I just take them off. But hey, if you guys have any comments on that, let me know in the comment section below. So the lights are pretty much the usual 5-volt LED strip light, the selfie version that I get from Five Below. If you guys don't know, that's actually a chain of stores. You can look them up online, but yeah, they're $5. It's about 3 feet of 5-volt LED, and it's like a white and a soft white or yellowish white. I don't know what you call it, but it's honestly perfect for the tank. And I have a DIY glass lid on there. That didn't cost me more than $10 to make. Both of these for this right here. Obviously this one's been dirty because it's been used more. So I guess let's come down to this tank. So you can see a lot of the guys, not a lot of them, but some of them are actually showing good signs of recovery for the different ailments that they had, and some are not, unfortunately. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start using erythromycin in this tank for the ones that I don't feel are recovering. I'm just not 100% sure if I should take them all, the ones that are recovering out, so I don't have to deal with the stress of medicating them, or just leave them in there. Probably should leave them in there because they might be carrying, even though they might not be showing signs or symptoms, they might be carrying any bacteria or fungus into the main tank. You can see that one right there. That's a kind of a defigured one. That's going to be another video I have to make in regard to culling. I haven't really been doing a good job. I'm a little bit too sympathetic for culling, and it's kind of starting to bite me in the ass. But again, different video. Tomorrow is cleanup day for the tank, so all of that's getting cleaned up. They are pooping pretty well. So as far as I know, they don't have any internal parasites or anything like that. Mostly battle scars. You see, that one's a fighter there. That guy's actually looking really well, but and a lot of battle scars, and that's because of them. There's a lot of males in there, and they're just fighting each other. But yeah, I think I'll just do a dose of erythromycin and some other stuff before I let some of these guys go back into the tank. Next one is the 5-gallon here. So this is the 5-gallon that pretty much we started with a long time ago, and I just painted a black background on it. I got the pre-filter sponge from the big 29-gallon in there, so there's plenty of bacteria in there. I've also been dosing it with Tetra Safe Start. There are actually 2 snails in there. Let's see if I can find one of them. No, I wonder where they're at. But I put 2 of the larger horn nerites that I have. These guys were actually in this tank here, but I decided to put them in here to kind of help along with the cycling process. I have a feeling that everything's well, but yeah, I wonder where they went. I know one of them was hanging around in here, and the other one I dropped around here, so I don't know where he went. Let me just check my lid real quick. No, they're not on top of the lid. So, oh, there's one back there, just hanging out back there. So he should be good. Hopefully that's not an escape attempt. But yeah, I couldn't see him with the background. But yeah, so far so good in this tank. Temperature is around 75 degrees. So that heater is actually working pretty well. Honestly, I don't see any reason why I couldn't just put the beta in there now. But with being quarantined and everything, I don't know if they're even available right now. Alright, next row. So, the betas. There is Mally, unfortunately, having problems with fins again. I can't tell if that's fin rot or if that's fin injury, because there's no white at the end of where the injury is on the fin. But he's definitely tearing himself, his fins up on something down there. I need to do a little bit more clarity on maybe the decorations and what I do. I'm thinking I'm going to take out that tree stump and try something else. Maybe that could be the issue. It might be too small of a space for him, and he's catching his tail on stuff, and maybe that's just it. I don't know. But for the most part, he's doing fine. He eats well. He poops well. Aside for that, he's doing great. And these plants are doing so great, and that's because the nerites are pretty much eating them. And I can't really blame the snails, because I'm not throwing in any algae wafers or anything in there for them to eat. Main reason for that, Mally will eat it. So, and then Mally will end up getting bloated, and then that becomes a problem. So I just let him have it. What I did do not too long ago, I did put some boiled peas in there, and I left the whole one in there so that Mally couldn't get to it, and some cut up pieces from Mally, and they went and ate up the rest, and they finished up real quick. So here's the shrimp tank. All the brand new shrimp have survived. So there's one of them right now. It's a red Riley, or R-I-L-I, Riley shrimp. I have one of those. I have 2 orange ones, 2 blue ones, and then I have that red cherry that's more faded red or orange colored now. That is still alive, and still thriving. It's the biggest one in there. Now, these tanks do have new moss. I bought this moss at a store over in Sylmar, and it was pretty affordable at about $4 a cup. Really, really nice portions. So I bought 2 of them, and I was actually able to split it up between both these tanks, and it's pretty good. Big chunk, big amount. So tank's doing good. Again, these tanks are all getting water changes between tomorrow and Wednesday. So this one for sure is tomorrow. This one's tomorrow. This one's tomorrow. Actually, I take that back. This one and the top one is tomorrow, and then these two are Monday or Tuesday, so that I can consistently be doing it once a week. Then here's Pinky. Pinky is still bloated. I have not been feeding her, and I'm concerned now. I've not been feeding her for a few days. I am getting really worried. I've tried the peas for, to get her to poop. That doesn't seem to be working. I do have some Epsom salt. So the next step, I'm guessing, is going to be an Epsom salt bath. I'm not looking forward to it because I've never done it before. And it could kill the fish, if you fuck it up. So I would be really upset with myself if I, trying to heal her up, I ended up hurting her in the long run. But aside from that, the tank is fine. Water parameters are fine. I've been changing. I do about a 10% water change, which this is 10 liters, so it's only 1 liter of water. At least, once a week as extra. I mean, so that means twice a week I'll do it, and then when the 50% comes, that's the only time around that I skip it. To see if maybe it was the water parameters better or something, but no, it's not it. So it is what it is. Next one here is the frog tank. If I didn't mention it in the last video, unfortunately, I did lose one of the froggies to dropsy or bloat. Basically, I was not able to catch it in time, unfortunately, and it went. However, there is still one froggy in there. But as you can see, this froggy's a bit of a dumbass. He's got that log he can go in and hide into, and he doesn't like to go in there. Instead, he frantically likes to go and try to scrape himself into the rocks. And that's why he has that little white patch in his nose, because he's hurting himself. So I have to rethink about like a cave system or something that the frog can hide in, because I'm guessing this log isn't doing it either, at least in here. So probably maybe going to pick up some aquarium, compatible rocks, and maybe make a cave system for him. Thinking about doing it like that, or I could buy one too. I've been seeing some decent stuff at Walmart lately. I might look there. But alright, so that's aside from that, water parameters are good. I'm feeding very sparsely now. I'm feeding the pellets about maybe once or twice a week, and every other week I'll do a little bit of bloodworms, as a snack. Turns out I'm pretty much blaming myself for the other frog dying, because I fed them pellets every 4 days a week. Fridays I would feed them bloodworms, and then go the whole weekend without. And it turns out that's a lot of food for these little guys. It's a lot of food. So it could have been well that I just overfed it to death, and I'm gonna avoid that from now on. So let's go for the next tank. And the next tank is obviously the 20-gallon fry tank. As you guys can see, there's a lot of fry in there. These fry are grown up, big and strong, pretty quick. I got some little babies in here still. Every now and then I'll pull out like a pinch full of babies from the main tank. I'm no longer trying really hard to look for them. It's just if I see them, I'll try to catch them. If they get away from me, oh well. But I do rescue as many as I can. But as you guys can see, the tank, the plants in here are actually doing a little bit better since I started dosing with the Flourish and Flourish XL. But one thing I'm not liking is I think my sponge filter is pretty much on the give up, because the water is still kind of a little discolored sometimes. So I'm thinking of either switching to a big sponge, maybe something like this one here that I have for that I'm setting up for this bottom tank. Or I can go with a second filter, like a box filter inside, something similar to, something like that, which is air powered. So if I had something like that in there, I'd also have this nozzle here spouting out the water in any direction that I move it to. So I'd also create more movement in the water, and the filters will be more effective that way as well. So there's some options for that. So aside from that, fish are doing fine, tank's doing fine, fry are doing fine. I have not lost any more fry, so that's a positive right now. Even to the filter, there's no fry that's been lost to the filter at all lately. So I'm pretty happy about that. Now let's talk about this guy here that's not set up yet. So it's a 20-gallon long that I picked up a while back. The goal here for this tank will be more, again, a grow out tank, except I'm hoping not to do any more platies. So no platies in this tank. I'm figuring in this tank I'm going to breed something else. What that's going to be, I have yet to determine. I was actually thinking of maybe breeding certain types of guppies, or maybe some kind of catfishes, but people have been telling me I can breed guppies in 10s, so it would be a waste to use a 20 long to, when I could breed a guppy in there. Same thing with endlers. I've been looking at endlers, but you could breed a lot of endlers apparently in a 10-gallon too. So yeah, yet to be determined. And then there's another 20-gallon tank in the future coming out. Now that tank, I'll talk about it more in the future, but just to give you guys a bit of a clue, that tank is going to have a special purpose. I am working on something with somebody from a place called Slab City over in Niland, California. And basically it's a bit of an experiment to see if you can keep a 20-gallon aquarium out in the desert using minimalist or off-grid options to run and maintain the tank. So, but again, I'll talk about that some more on another day. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. If you guys liked the video, please hit the like button, subscribe, and have a great day.